All right, hey YouTube, hey, we're gonna try and make this brief, so it's not like a bunch of drunkards running around foul-mouthed language to try and show you how I think something is maybe easy to do. Anyway, my Chevy Colorado, it's got 331,000 miles on it. It's been a great truck. Love this thing. And the radiator in it, can you believe it, is original. It is marked 4 for the year 2004, and then for the month it's 10. October of 2004. It's a 2005 series truck. Anyway, this radiator is toast. It's clogged. Needs to be replaced. I've replaced everything else on it, and this is the last thing. It's got a new fan clutch in it, new water pump, new thermostat. Getting ready to put this in here. Anyway, I ordered a Spectra radiator for its replacement off of Amazon. I'm an Amazon Prime member, and would you believe that the box that I received, I got it in 2 days, but this is what the box looked like. I mean, I did open this top flap, but the box was torn like this. And inside of it, the radiator, which is right here, had minimal damage, but damage nonetheless. So I'm gonna use a little feeler gauge to straighten these out. I would send this back to Amazon and say, hey, send me another one. The only problem is I need this radiator for a trip tomorrow and my engine's overheating, so I'm gonna have to use it. Anyway, the biggest snag I've encountered so far is removing the clips for the oil cooler lines for here and here. I've already removed the little protective red tabs it came with, but I've removed the fan shroud. I've disconnected my battery. Fan shroud just is held on by 6 clips that pop off. I've drained my coolant, and I have it in appropriate reservoirs to take to the local auto parts dealer, who will take it back and they recycle it. All I need to do is get the clips off the transmission lines. I'm going to show you that here in a moment. And loosen this bolt. Loosen this bolt that holds this clamp on. And loosen this bolt down here. And the radiator just pulls up. And then we'll make it happen. So anyway, let me show you what this looks like. So these picks right here, those are the picks I'm going to use to remove the clips that hold on the oil cooler lines. See this oil cooler line clips right there. Those clips pop out and then the lines pull out. There's one here and then there's one down there. They have little protective hard plastic, hard rubber boots on them that I pried off. And I'm just gonna pull those out and make it happen. I'll show you what it looks like here in a moment. Okay, so in this case, I was able to get the clip right off, but I could not pull the line out. So I put a wrench on it, a channel lock, and I'm loosening this part of the connector. You can see it's already beginning to drip some oil. So I'm doing that to catch any oil in this catch pan here. So that's what that looks like. And we're removing this so you can see that. I'm going to do this other one down here, and then we're going to be able to pull this out. We're going to take this lower radiator hose off and pull the sucker right out. So stay tuned. Okay, so I pulled out the second clip easily with the picker, Harbor Freight, the Pittsburgh picker. And here's the fitting from the first one, but the second fitting is still in the radiator. I didn't have to pull it out, just the line just popped right at it. So now I'm gonna loosen some bolts and pull the radiator out. Okay, so to pull these top bolts off the radiator support chassis, it takes one of these little star bolts and little fittings, and so I have one here on a little cobalt set, and I'm working on it real quick. I'll show you what number it is here in a second. So it's kind of hard to read here, but it's a TT30 bit that I used to remove 2 of these, one on each side at the top of the radiator, and then I've got this piece to undo. And it's my understanding then that the old radiator will just lift out. So let's see what happens. Okay, so I had hit a snag in the radiator removal, and after consulting my Haynes book, I learned that to get the radiator to slide out, you actually need to remove the grill, because the AC condenser, which is right here, is in the way of just lifting this old radiator out. And it's because the side channels the radiator are sitting in have the condenser bolted to it. So, I mean, that's fine. It's just all the YouTube videos I'd seen, it just always shows an innocuous image of people sliding these out, and there's no information given about the radiator, or rather the condenser. So anyway, I'm going to unbolt these bolts that keep the condenser attached to the radiator, and then I'm going to use a piece of wire to keep the condenser held back when I slide this out, and we'll see what it does. Alright YouTube, so I have got the AC condenser out of the way, and it's being held in place by this piece of wire and resting on this lip down there. And I'm about to show you what my radiator looked like, and when you see it, you'll see why I'm embarrassed. Look at that. No wonder why I've been having cooling issues, right? It's atrocious. Alright, so I've done some jiggling around and fitting things in, but I finally got the new radiator in. And I tell you what, I'm disappointed with Amazon for bending some of the fins during shipping, but like I said, I gotta have this thing tomorrow. Some things of note to mention are those little clips that are in the those little transmission lines. I just totally put the clips in with the radiator just mounted and then snapped those lines in. They snapped in just fine. And had to remove the grill, which wasn't too difficult. I found a great video from A1 Auto Parts, giving credit to them on how to remove the grill. It popped out real easy. I used a wire to hang the condenser from here so it wouldn't fall in. I lifted the condenser out and lifted the radiator out, and that's when it came out real easy. So I'm gonna put everything back together and put in a 50-50 Dex Cool mix and give her a crank. All right, YouTube, I'm done with this thing. I just wanted to say that I had gone through a lot of troubleshooting on trying to figure out what was causing my overheating, and it wasn't until I got the radiator separated from the AC condenser and noticed all the crap in between the two. And I should also mention a little backstory is that when I was flushing it some time ago, just like a couple weeks ago, I found a lot of gray sludge inside the overflow tank, and I do believe that some of that gray sludge was likely in the old radiator. So new radiator, new fluid, new coolant, new Dex Cool 50-50 mix. Drove it around town, and it's a 95-degree day here. Ran the AC full blast, and the engine's running right at the dead center mark, and at 200, and the diagnostic shows 203 degrees, where it had been routinely running. I know this sounds scary, but around 228, 229, and I think we got the problem fixed. So anyway, thanks for watching. Y'all make it a great day.